Hello and welcome, bookworms. Welcome to this week's episode of The Contented Narrative. We're looking at The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Now, I have Circe by Madeline Miller in the Folio Society, so it felt apt that I needed to get The Song of Achilles in the Folio Society. And I mean, as always, do you know what I mean? And I'll show you like some of the images. They're absolutely stunning. I mean, look, too. Like, it's fine. But I love it. I love Folio Societies. I love the way that they're drawn, the way that they're written, the way that they're presented. As you know, I've got some behind me. And yes, they are pricey, but they're the only books that never leave my house. So all the rest of my books leave the house. I take them out. I read them. I read these, but they never leave my house. They stay in my flat at all times. Anyway, on to the story. So The Song of Achilles is genuinely a really good book because it's not about Achilles. And this is the thing, is like, oh my god, why have I forgotten his name? Oh, Patroclus. I'm going to call him Pat. Let's call him Pat. So you're basically following Pat, not Achilles. And what it does is it follows Pat, and it starts off with him being a bit of a disappointment to his son, as you do at that age. Not his son, his dad even. Jeez, Louise. A bit of a disappointment to his dad. But then he ends up killing a noble boy. And so basically they all go, right, we want him ostracized, we want him outcast, we don't want him here anymore. So his dad's like, yeah, cool, no worries, and sends him away. And sends him to where Achilles and his dad lives. And so he then sort of like, it's a enemies to lovers relationship, I reckon, with Pat and Achilles. And it starts off and he's like, oh, Achilles is just like, he's this golden boy and everybody loves him. Blah, blah, blah. And then he starts up on this friendship and they become inseparable. And the funny thing is like, Achilles' dad is like, yeah, cool, no worries, I'm happy with anything and everything. But Achilles' mum, who is a part goddess, she's like, nah, no son of mine is doing what I think you're doing with Pat. And she is vicious, she's horrible. And it's not until like right at the end that she finally sort of like shows a little bit of humanity. But again, is she vicious from a humanitarian point of view? Or is she just exactly how the gods and goddesses are supposed to be in these kind of books, where they're kind of aloof, they don't really give a shit, sorry, pardon my language, they don't really care of those around them. So you're reading this story and they go on these adventures and everything, and obviously it's building up to Troy, and it's building up to that battle. So you know what's going to be coming for them. But and even though you know sort of like how it's going to end for their stories, the actual ending that you get is actually really, really sweet. I mean, it's bittersweet, don't get me wrong, but it is really sweet. And what I love is seeing sort of like the bond between these two grow as brothers, well, not brothers, but like as really good friends, as like they're bouncing off of each other. They, you know, they feel comfortable around each other, and then slowly they start growing into something more. And I adored that. And honestly, as I was reading it, I was like, oh, this is such a great love story. I adore it. And it's just the idea that like everyone knows the stories of Achilles, and I love the idea that it's told from this story of Pat, who, and again, I'm only saying Pat because I'm not very good at pronouncing Greek names, I'm sorry guys, but it's told from the story of Pat because of the fact that, you know, it's showing us an outside look on this golden hero, and the fact that from a young age Achilles kept being told, oh, you're going to be the next, you know, you're going to be a general, your name's going to be shouted down for generations. And so you literally sat there going, if you tell that to a young age to a boy, they're going to think they're invincible. And they basically, that's what he was. But I would 100% recommend this. Not necessarily buying the Folio Society version, because I know that these can be pricey and sometimes it's easy just to buy a paperback or a hardback, so I get that. But I would definitely say if you can afford a Folio Society, do buy it. It's got the golden edge in there, not on that side, but definitely on the top. And it is so lovely. But if not, paperback, hardback, you know the drill, guys. I don't need to say it every week, but I will. But if there is any sort of like, again, like if there's any retelling of stories that I've not done before, please let me know below in the comments so I can give it a go. Thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you for all the views that you're giving me. all the times that you're sharing it with people. It means the world to me. You guys are the reason that I keep doing this, because, you know, if I didn't have any views on my videos, if nobody really cared about it, I would just kind of drop to the wayside and stop doing it. But every time I see that someone's viewed it, commented on it, liked it, shared it, it just makes my life so much, like, so much happier to know that there are people out there reading or reading a book that I've recommended. So thank you so much. It means the world to me. And remember to always keep it contento.